This is International Royal TV, and thank you for clicking. Please thumbs up if you haven't already. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today we are going to be continuing on with Princess Anne, or Princess Royal. I know she was so humble. She's so humble. She doesn't like to go by the title Princess, but just for reading's sake, we're going to call her Princess Anne or Princess Royal. Yeah, so we already done session 1, which was called Anne, Princess Royal. Basically, that was a brief introduction to her life, her birth, etc. So now we are on session number 2, and it's called Early Life and Education. So if you have missed part 1, there is a playlist. So you can find that on the community tab after this, and you can also find it in the playlist section. So the source I'm reading from is Wikipedia, and we are on session number 2. So let's go. Early life and education. Anne was born at 11:50 a.m. BST on 15th of August 1950 at Clarence House during the reign of her maternal grandfather, King George VI. She was the second child and only daughter of Princess Elizabeth, Duchess of Edinburgh, later Queen Elizabeth II, and Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. A 21-gun salute in Hyde Park signalled the birth. I think that says signalled. Forgive me. Let's continue. Anne was baptized in the music room of Buckingham Palace on 21st of October 1950 by the Archbishop of York, Cyril Garbett. At the time of her birth, she was third in line of succession to the British throne, behind her mother and older brother Charles, later King Charles III. She rose to second in 1952 after her grandfather's death and her mother's accession. She is currently 17th in line. A governess, Catherine Pebbles, was appointed to look after Anne and her brothers, Charles, Andrew, and Edward. Pebbles was responsible for Anne's early education at Buckingham Palace. Given her young age at the time, Anne did not attend her mother's coronation in June 1953. I remember seeing Charles was definitely there. I remember seeing some footage of that. That's quite interesting. Anyway, let's continue. A Girl Guides company, the first Buckingham Palace company to include the Holy Trinity Brompton Brownie pack, was reformed in May 1959, specifically so that, as her mother and aunt had done as children, Anne could socialize with girls her own age. The company was active until 1963, when Anne went to boarding school. Anne enrolled at, I'm not good at pronouncing certain words, but let's give it a try. Anne enrolled at Benenden School in 1963. In 1968, she left school with 6 GCE O-levels and 2 A-levels. She began to undertake royal engagements in 1969 at the age of 18. Wow. So she's been working hard at royal engagements since the age of 18, and pretty much she's been going and going and going since then. She's such a hard worker. That's one of the things I really admire about Princess Anne, or Princess Royal, her work ethic, and also her loyalty and closeness to her brother, Charles. And they were close as youngsters, and they are still close today. And I just love that fact about them, and love that fact about her. She's so hardworking and conscientious. Anyway, let's continue. In 1970, Anne briefly had a relationship with Andrew Parker Bowles, who later married Camilla Shand. Camilla later became the second wife and queen consort of Anne's eldest brother, Charles III. Anne was also briefly linked to Olympic equestrian Richard Meade. So that brings us to the end of session number 2, which was called Early Life and Education. So we have now done parts 1 and 2.